Hey, what's going on guys, Tanmay, and in this video tutorial of JavaScript, we're going to be continuing with our DOM manipulations and we're going to be taking a look at a new method which is known as getElementByTagName method. So in the previous couple of videos, we've been watching different types of DOM manipulations. We've taken input from select box, we've taken input from text box, we've also taken input from radio buttons. But in all those video tutorials, what we saw is a method which is known as getElementById. So in that method, what was happening is you are basically giving an ID to a particular HTML element. So let's say in this example, I would give ID to a p tag over here, like p1 or something. And then you're using this ID in the JavaScript. So you're creating a function, let's say fn1. Inside this, what you're doing is you're using document.getElementById and you're passing the ID of this paragraph p1 and then you're performing certain manipulations, right? So this is what we've been doing up until now, but what happens is this getElementById method can be used when you want to perform manipulations on one particular element in the HTML document. So on your website, you have multiple elements. So let's say you have a proper complete website. So that won't be looking something like this, right? You'll have a lot of divisions, you'll have a lot of sections, paragraphs, and many other HTML tags, right? So what happens is, what if you want to perform manipulations on a lot of HTML elements at the same time? So this is where you cannot use getElementById, because when you're assigning IDs on the HTML document to different tags, they have to be unique. So you cannot have PID1 or P1 again over here. So this is not valid in HTML. And the reason is because this ID has to be unique to all the HTML elements on the HTML document. Okay. So now our task is to perform manipulations on all these paragraphs at the same time. So we cannot use getElementById. So this is where the getElementByTagName method comes into picture, and this is another way in which you can manipulate the HTML tags on the website. So we're going to be taking a look at what this is. Okay, so let me just tell you what exactly we are doing. So we have 5 different paragraphs. You can see this is paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. In the output also you can see it. In the output it is very much zoomed in because otherwise it won't be visible on the screen. So if I zoom out, this is how it should be looking. But since for the video purpose, I've just zoomed in a little bit. And then we also have a button. And on its click, we are calling a method changeStyling. Okay, so right now it's not working because we don't have anything of changeStyling name. So we need to create that function. And what we are going to do is when we click on this button, we are going to be changing the CSS attributes of all these paragraphs. Now, of course, JavaScript can be used to change the CSS also. We can use JavaScript to perform validations. You can use JavaScript to take input from the user. You can use JavaScript to perform animations also. So here what we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing the CSS styling. So let's quickly go ahead and create this function. So I'm just going to copy paste this changeStyling and paste it over here. Now inside this, we have to use the getElementByTagName method, right? Because we want to change styling of all these paragraphs and we don't want to individually access them and do that. You can also do that. You can create 5 different variables and you can assign 5 different IDs, but that becomes a little more tedious, right? So in a real world scenario, when you have a lot of HTML elements, accessing them individually will take a lot of time, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to be saying var para is equal to, I'm going to use the document object because that method getElementByTagName comes under the document object only. I'm going to say document.getElementByTagName. So this is that method. In the opening and closing brackets, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the name of the tag in the double quotes. Now the name of the tag is this what we have in the angular brackets. So name of the tag is p tag, which is the paragraph tag in HTML. So I'm going to pass p, and this is how you actually access all the paragraphs. Now let's say you had 5 different divisions. So you had div tags. So if you have 5 different div tags, you have to pass div over here. You have to say div. Okay. Similarly, if you have anchor tags, anchor is the link that you provide. You know, you have a href and then you have some anchor, and this is anchor tag. So this href is the link to which you want to point it out, and you can see that anchor tag is created over here. If you click on it right now, we will not get anything because it's pointing to itself. This hash represents that. Anyways, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail right now. Let's first see what we have to do with the paragraphs. So when you pass a tag name and when I'm saying p, I'm going to be accessing all the paragraphs on this body, regardless of what ID they have, regardless of what class they have, regardless of what attributes or already CSS styling they have. I can access all of them using just this one line of code. So what this method is doing is it gives us a HTML collection of these HTML paragraph elements. So you can see in the tooltip also HTML collection of HTML paragraph elements. So basically we are not getting one value, right? We are not getting one paragraph tag. We are not getting this. We are not getting this. We are getting a collection of all of these. In fact, collection of all of the paragraph tags on the website. So if you hover on this, you can see HTML collection of HTML paragraph elements. So basically what we are getting is an array. Now we've already discussed what is an array. Array is a collection of multiple variables or multiple values which can be accessed using the index, right? So similarly, we can access individual p tags using index. So let's perform some manipulations and let's see how that syntax goes. So to access the first paragraph, I'm gonna say para of 0 because indexing starts from 0 for arrays. I'm gonna say dot style. So style is a property because it's a collection of objects basically. It's not a simple variable because it is an HTML element, right? And HTML elements are represented as objects in JavaScript. So they have properties and methods along with it. And now we have basically a collection of objects in an array. Okay, so this array holds these individual HTML elements. And these HTML elements are represented as objects in JavaScript. So we have style. And then inside the style property, we have which style you want to perform. So this style attribute has multiple sub attributes, you can say, which means that in CSS also you can have font size, font weight, color, and so on and so forth. So they all come under style. So I'm going to say style dot font size. You can see over here, and I'm going to increase the font size to 24, let's say, or let's do it 25 for now. So what we did is we accessed the first paragraph. So para of 0 is accessing this paragraph. This is first paragraph, right? And we are changing its font size. So basically we are changing the CSS styling. So let's see if this works. Right now we are calling change styling function over here on click. So it should work. I'm going to click this. And there you go. You can see the size of the first para changed. So now let's try to manipulate paragraph 2 and add some different styling to that. So I'm just going to copy paste this. And over here I'm going to say paragraph 1. But now here what we'll do is we'll change the color. Okay. So I'm going to say color. And here I'm going to pass red. So let's see on click what happens. So there you go. First, the size of the first para changed and the color of the paragraph 2 also changed. So we are manipulating two paragraphs in these two lines. So for the third and fourth, I have already copied some new styles. So here what we're doing is we are increasing the font weight and we are making it bold. And for the fourth one, we are doing font style is equal to italic. Okay. So these are all predefined attributes. And in the color, you can pass a hex code also. So if you just hit para 3 dot style and then you again hit a dot, you will see all the values. In fact, what I'm trying to say is if I say dot, you can see the multiple styles that you can do. You can change different things and all the IntelliSense is showing is the things that you can change over here. So, you can change background color, bottom color, so on and so forth. A lot of things can be done. Right now, we are just seeing the basics. So let's see if this is working. So there you go, first we increase the size, then we change the color, then we made the text bold. This is that font weight property. And then we made it italic. So again, italic property. And this we kept it unchanged. So now you must be wondering, okay, we accessed all the paragraphs using the getElementByTagName, but ultimately we are individually changing each and everything, right? So what is the difference between getElementById and getElementByTagName? Because ultimately we are using array indexes to individually access each and every paragraph, right? So the basic difference is this getElementByTagName can access one particular tag at a time. And when you're using getElementById, you can access any tag which has that particular ID. So only one particular element can be accessed. Here you can see we are getting a collection of whatever tag you're passing. So you can be anchor tag, division tag, or anything, whatever you pass. And depending upon how many values or how many actual tags you have on the HTML body, all of them will be accessed at one single time. But when you're performing manipulations, you have to individually access them using the array indexes. So you cannot have something like this. So if you try to do this, nothing will happen, you can see, because basically it is an array and it has to be accessed using indexes. So I have to give an index and only then it will work. So one benefit of using this array styled indexing or DOM manipulation is that you can use a for loop when you have multiple tags, So let's say you have 100 paragraphs. Okay. So in that case, if you want to perform some iterative changes, what you can do is you can use a for loop. So you can say for var I equals to 0, I less than para.length. So this length is an attribute of any array. We've seen that. So it changes dynamically depending upon how many number of paragraph tags you have on the body. So if you increase it on the fly, this will also change. And then you can say I++, and in the for loop you can perform paragraph I dot style dot font size equals to 22. Okay, so if I do this in one single line, you can see I have changed all the sizes of all the paragraphs. So imagine you having 100 paragraphs, and just by using one for loop you have changed all the styles. So this is possible because now we are using array styled indexing or array styled manipulations, because we get the index and then we can manipulate it using the for loop. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up over here. This was a new way in which you can access HTML elements using the getElementByTagName. In the next video, we'll see some different variations of accessing DOM elements. And that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Do share it with your friends. And see you guys in the next video. Peace.